Most people overpay for gaming PCs like this. Here's why this one is different. A lot of pre-built systems cut corners on cooling, power delivery, or just throw in outdated parts to hit a low price. This Skytech Archangel 5 doesn't do that. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been running this rig for a few weeks now, and honestly, it feels like a custom build without the hassle. The heart of this thing is the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. That 3D V-cache makes a real difference in games like Cyberpunk or Starfield where you're pushing high refresh rates. I'm talking 1440p Ultra with DLSS set to quality and still hitting over 120 FPS in most titles. The 5.0 GHz boost clock isn't just a spec on paper, it actually holds under load thanks to that beefy 360mm AIO cooler. I've seen temps stay in the mid-70s even during long sessions, which is impressive for a pre-built. The graphics card is where things get interesting. The RTX 5060 Ti with 16GB of GDDR7 is overkill for 1080p, sure, but it future-proofs you for the next few years. I've been running Star Citizen at 1440p with a mix of medium and high settings, and it's buttery smooth. The 16GB VRAM also means I can run Stable Diffusion locally without worrying about running out of memory. That's not something you see in most pre-builts at this price point. Storage and memory are no joke either. A 1TB NVMe SSD is standard now, but the fact that it's Gen 4 means load times are basically instant. I've got Windows, my games, and a bunch of creative apps installed, and there's still over 700GB free. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM at 6000 MHz is more than enough for gaming, streaming, and even some light video editing. I've had Chrome open with 30 tabs, Discord, OBS, and a game running simultaneously without a single stutter. Power delivery is another area where this PC shines. The 750W Gold PSU isn't just there for show, it's fully modular, which makes cable management a breeze. I swapped out the stock cables for some sleeved ones, and the case looks clean. More importantly, the PSU is efficient and runs cool, so I'm not worried about long-term reliability. The fact that it's gold-rated means it's also quieter under load, which is a small but appreciated detail. Connectivity is solid too. You've got Wi-Fi 5, which is fine for most people, but if you're hardwiring, there's a dedicated Ethernet port. The HDMI 2.1 output means you can run a 4K 120Hz display without issues, which is great if you're rocking a high-end monitor. The lack of bloatware is a nice touch, no junk apps clogging up the system. It boots straight into Windows 11, and I was able to start gaming within minutes of unboxing. Now, let's talk about the case. It's got that aggressive gamer aesthetic with the ARGB lighting, and the tempered glass panels let you show off those liquid cooling tubes. The airflow is decent out of the box, but if you're like me and want to tweak it, there's plenty of room to add more fans or even upgrade the AIO down the line. The build quality feels solid, no rattling or flexing when you move it, which is a relief for something this heavy. So, what's not to love? Well, the case is a bit flashy for some tastes. If you're going for a minimalist look, this might not be your vibe. Also, the RGB is a little over the top for my liking, but you can always disable it in the BIOS if you're not into that. The only real downside is the brand variance on the GPU. Skytech sources parts from different manufacturers, so you might not get the exact same RTX 5060 Ti as me. But honestly, the performance is consistent, so it's not a deal breaker. If you're in the market for a high-end gaming PC that doesn't require you to assemble it yourself, this Skytech Archangel 5 is a fantastic choice. It handles modern games at high settings, stays cool under pressure, and has enough power to last you years. The price is competitive for what you're getting, especially compared to building your own where you'd likely spend more on parts and still end up with a less refined build. Check it out below if it sounds like the right fit for you.